Leon Rocky's opponent. Belal, remember the name Muhammad.
What's the emotions like right now after being the underdog yet again and handing this guy his first loss?
Just happy, you know, pure happiness. I defend my belt. Now I'm proved that I'm true champion. I think now I'm gonna have respect from everybody, nobody, you know. And in the next fight, I will not gonna be underdog anymore. I think so, but I don't care anyway. I can.
This ended up being a very tactical fight, right? I mean, very, you know, the stand-up game throughout. Obviously, the takedowns were big at the end, but really interesting the way it unfolded. Did it play out at all like you thought it would?
Before the fight, that you know, I plan to knock him out, you know, in the second round. But you know, he's a great fighter, good fighter, so he don't let me go. But you know, I should start resting a little bit earlier. But you know, he keep distance very well, so I cannot, you know, catch him. He kick really hard. I feel it, my leg right now. Put a little bit more pressure on him and use more boxing skills on him, you know. But anyway, I was a little bit better, you know, that was close fight, tough fight, but I was a little bit better. And finally, I find a way how to take him down and control him on the ground and won the fight.
I was going to ask you about the takedowns. Obviously, the 4th and 5th round, that was key. But you did look for the takedown a little early, but what changed? Did you change your approach? Did you tire a little bit? What happened?
Really tricky, you know. He stand up really nice. And I take him down in the second round, I think so. And he stand up really fast. In the third round, also in the second round, I don't remember. I catch him in the guillotine or something like this, and also was tricky move, and then he escaped. You know, I need to know that I have to wait a little bit longer when he gonna be a little bit tired, and then I will take him down and control fight on the ground. And I just, you know, wait for the good moment.
It was here earlier, and he said while he was in the cage, you turned to him and said, "You don't believe in me." Got the message to him. Why do you believe he doesn't?
That was asking, you know, you don't believe in me, and he, no, I truly believe in you, you know. And that's it, you know. And after that, I thanks for everything what he do for us, for the fighters, you know, that we can fight, have a job. So, Dana, one more time, thank you for everything. But it stays different a little bit, you know, because I was the champion. Now but I defend my belt, so I prove that I'm true champion, you know. So I don't know yet, but taste, you know, always when you want the fight, it's amazing feeling. But right now, because I want to get someone like Israel, one of the best in the world. Now he got 21, so he's gonna remember me to the end of his life. It tastes much better, you know. Amazing. Belt go to Poland, you know. Great feeling, amazing, one more time.
You'd be interested in fighting Glover Teixeira next. Dana was here and he said, yeah, that's probably the next fight to make. It looked like you were limping a little, the legs are sore, but how soon do you want to fight? If that's the fight, how soon do you want to make it happen?
I want to spend some time with my family, because, you know, I am a father, 2.5 months. My child was born and my son, and I don't spend many time with him, you know, because I have to prepare for my fight. My fiance take care of it, so thank you, Dorota, for everything. Now I take care of you after when you come back to Poland and some fun. So yeah, if you want to wait a little bit longer, he's gonna be my next opponent.
I'm curious. You know, when you started in the UFC, 2-4, you know, it wasn't always the best. And now tonight, you just handed the first loss to one of the biggest stars in mixed martial arts. Sit back and you think about it. What do you think about most about your journey to get here?
Motivation, believing in your dreams, and that's it. And my coach, you know, he's the, you know, the creator of this success. You know, my whole team, my friends, my family, everything, you know, around me. Together we find a way how to be the best. So, thanks, coach, one more time for everything.
I wasn't sure.
You know, the later rounds were clear that you won, but the first couple rounds were really, really close. So when you went to the judge's decision, what did you think? Did you and your team think you had won, or were you a little concerned?
That I'm gonna win this fight, you know. Even Glover Teixeira come to, you know, to the cage. It was better, you know. And after the fight, also Habib said that we won 3 rounds from fight. So, and I feel that I was a little bit better, you know. He throw more kicks, but I throw more, you know, punches by boxing. So.
People don't talk about it. 38 years old. Usually, other fighters, this is where they slow down, and you're at easily the best of your career. What do you think has helped you that you're at the top in this point in your career?
Just find a way how to be the best, you know. I know my body. I know what I need. I know what I just know, you know, what I have to eat, what I have to drink, when I have to, you know, push a little bit harder, when to stop, you know, because everybody know how to train hard, but you need to know how to train smart.
Now, after sharing the octagon with Israel for 25 minutes, where do you rank his skill set amongst the other guys that you fought?
One of the toughest opponents in my life, you know, in this shape what I have, because I have a really good shape, and it was really tough fight, you know. So yeah, one of the toughest. To ask him, I think for sure he feel, you know, light heavyweight on the ground, you know. Maybe in stand up, you know, not so much, but when I take him ground, he feel the difference between, you know, his category and 205.
When he was here, he said that if he had to lose to anybody, there's no one better to lose to than a man like yourself. Do you appreciate those comments from him?
Great to hear something like this from people like you know, Israel, because, you know, he still is one of the best in the world, you know. Great fighter, great person. So it was a pleasure for me that I can fight against someone like him. So thank you for the fight, Israel.
I think it's
that was illegal knee for sure, yeah. But I think they make rematch, and we will see this fight again. But yeah, I would don't want to be the champion after a fight like this, you know. For sure, they have to make a rematch.
And as the champion. Do you put him in the same regard as like an Usman and a Colby Covington? And you know, you mentioned Maya a few times, but I'll throw Wonder Boy up there, and Masvidal. Like, do you see him as like he is one of those very, very elite top 3 guys? Or
He's top 3. You know, like they offered him a title fight before Gilbert Burns. He lost it. So like for me, that's what I'm looking at. I'm looking at, this is my title fight. I need to take his spot. But for his only issue is that he's not very active on social media. He's not a big talker. So those guys, they don't see any big money dollar signs in fighting him. So like he's a very hard fight, but they're not going to gain anything from fighting him. Like he's going to be the B guy when he's fighting all those guys, and like where he needs to be more active on social media, get the fans behind him more. Because I mean, he really doesn't have that big a following. I'm sure in London he probably does, but like this is a game where you need to be entertaining. You need to be active with fans. Like even Conor McGregor, who has over 30 million followers, he'll still tweeting. And Nate Diaz, like any time those guys tweet, it's like all of a sudden there's a breaking news on ESPN that this guy just made a tweet. So like you got to be one of those guys, and just let your hands do the talking. You got to be out there, putting your name out there, getting being active on social media, talking with fans. You know, be likable. And I just don't think he's likable, and that's his problem with those other guys like Kamaru Usman. Like that would be a great fight with him and Usman. That makes sense, but Usman's calling Masvidal. Why? Because the big dollar signs, and he knows he's going to get a big paycheck off that fight. Getting that extra check, that big money, and nowadays that's what guys are looking toward, like retirement and building their brand up. And he's not really thinking about building his brand. He thinks that just fighting and winning is gonna build his brand for him, and that's not gonna work.
How excited are you to just get that first UFC main event under your belt?
Like, you sit there, you work for your whole life for this moment, and it's one of those things where people are like, "Man, did you think about it?" I was like, "Bro, to be offered a main event, these are things that you dream about, and that some of the best fighters in the world never had this chance to achieve this thing." So for me, it's a big goal, and it's just the beginning for me, honestly.
Around that top 10 when you fought Diego Lima a couple weeks ago, and now here you are in the main event fighting a guy who's in the top 5 against Leon Edwards. So what happened in those 5 days?
It's crazy. I mean, I was sitting there, I called out Lee Jingling. He's right above me, and everybody's like, "Bro, why didn't you call out a top 5 guy? You should have called out this guy." I'm like, dude, like, I don't want to. I hate guys when they waste call outs. Like when you got guys that are like, "Oh, let me get Nate Diaz, let me get Masvidal." I'm like, you're not gonna get those fights. It's a wasted call out. For me, I wanted something realistic. Like, I haven't fought a ranked guy, and I wanted to fight a ranked guy. And I was like, man, now that I'm ranked, I want to climb that ladder. So it's like Lee Jinglin. It made sense. It was a good fight. It was like an easy matchmaking fight for Sean Shelby. But hey, they're gonna skip me up all the way up to number 3. That makes it even easier for me, because for me, I think I belong in that top 5 anyway. And I think rankings don't really matter. It's all about wins and losses. And I've won 8 of my last 9. He's on an 8-fight winning streak. So realistically, this is a real fight that is a good fight. People will sit there and think, well, number 3 should be this much better than number 13, but it ain't that. This is fighting, man. The guys that are active, the guys that are fresh, always with the momentum going on, those are the guys that are going to be winning, man. Like you saw Gilbert Burns last year. He had a huge year because he was active, back-to-back wins, and after 3 wins, he got a freaking title shot. So that's the type of wave I'm trying to ride. But man, am I going to get this Lee Jingling fight? Then all of a sudden, Ali called me, like, "Hey, how you feeling?" And I'm like, "Are they offering me Leon?" And he's like, "Yes." And I'm like, "Let's go, man. Let's book it." Because I was like, when you get a call from your manager, something's up. So I was excited when he called, and I was like, "Oh man, this could be something good." And it worked out perfectly. And he was like telling me, like, when Leon still has no opponent yet. And I was thinking about it. I was like, man, that's a good point. But I was like, at first, I was like, man, I thought they're gonna give him Kobe. Then him, he was like turning everybody down. Like, I don't want to fight Wonder Boy. He's not worth it for me. This guy's not worth it for me. So I was like, I was wondering what he was trying to do. Is he really trying to fight or not? And when he said it, I was like, let's go. He's like, you want to talk to your coach? They're like, nah, man, let's book it.
Wow. Weight 2 times in a short amount of time. Are you concerned about any adverse effects of that?
For me, I don't really cut a lot of weight anyway, but like, you had your couple of days of just like splurging and eating sloppy. So then I was worried at first for a little. Body just like, once it understands that a fight's coming up, it just like automatically just starts toning down, and it realized, all right, well, he went from eating bad to eating healthy again. So maybe something's coming up. So like my weight was like, I checked it. I was like, I was in a good spot. And honestly, everything's good right now.